Order. Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Krushat,
Here.
Commissioner Pahana,
Here.
Commissioner Walker,
Here.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Here.
Chair Cure,
Here.
all present.
Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going on the city website and clicking on the meeting agendas link. Public comments. This is a time for the public to address Planning Commission on issues within the jurisdiction of the Commission that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the Chair of the Commission and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limitation of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out name and address slips and give them to the Planning Commission Secretary. The Planning Commission is prohibited by the Brown Act from taking action or discussing at length items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Open public comment? Do you have any? No? Closing public comments? Commission comments and reports of meetings attended. Start with Leslie.
I have not attended any meetings since our last, and it's good to have all the staff back.
I haven't attended any meetings since our last.
I also haven't attended any meetings since our last.
I haven't attended any meetings since our last meeting, but I would like to make a plug for the Desert Rat Convention that's going to be held on April 26th, 27th, sponsored by the Historical Society. You've got a lot of activities. It's a lot of fun, and I won't be able to go because I have other responsibilities, but I really would like to see anybody from the staff to go. I think that'd be great. Thank you.
Where's that at, Jim?
It's at the 29 Palms Museum, and there's also a little thing they do out at the cemetery. So you can go online, just look up 29 Palms Desert Rat Convention, and it'll all come up with all the details.
I did not attend any meetings as well. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. Do we have a motion?
I motion that we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
And vote? Okay.
Roll call.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Pahana,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Aye.
Chair Cure,
Aye.
approved.
Sounds nice, Vice Chair.
Public hearings. The ancillary activities, businesses, and entertainment.
Thank you, Planning Commissioner. This is 3 separate subjects that have been brought to you before the Commission as separate study sessions, and since they're all pertaining to ancillary stuff, we decided to put them into one ordinance amendment addressing 3 different subjects. So I'm going to say if the Commission feels comfortable moving them all forward, you are able to do so tonight. If you wanted to, if you feel like one or more needs more study, then we can continue it on. Ancillary uses are those products or services that an existing business offers that are not the primary function of the business. For instance, a grocery store opening a lunch counter, the primary business owns and operates the ancillary use. Ancillary business is quote unquote a business within a business. This, for instance, the Burger King inside of the Walmart. In this example, the Walmart does not own or operate the Burger King, but leases the space. Ancillary live entertainment pertains to any live entertainment activities that are offered as part of a primary business operation. The classic example of this is a live band that performs at a local restaurant or bar. I'm going to be referencing levels of a land use approval throughout this presentation. So I have this slide. We can refer back to it if necessary. The highest level, more intense level of land use approval is a conditional use permit. That is the Planning Commission authority. That is fully advertised at a public hearing. Administrative use permit. The Community Development Director has the authority, and that is also advertised. And then we have a site plan review, which is Community Development Director authority, which is not advertised. And the bottom rung is simply a zoning letter saying this is consistent with zoning, et cetera. For the ancillary uses, again, we're talking about things that are offered by the same company or the same business. As long as the ancillary uses are at the same level or lower, as listed on the allowable land use tables, and no permit process is needed. For instance, a bar that sells T-shirts and mugs, that's not technically part of being a bar, but it's general retail, then there's no need for a land use approval. If needed, the Community Development Director or the Community Development Department can issue a zoning letter if it's absolutely needed for their own legal or licensing reasons for whatever reason. Ancillary business provisions. Ancillary businesses are not owned or operated by the primary. Entrances and exits must be located entirely within the primary business with no unique means of access. The secondary business must have the same hours of operation or less than the primary business, and ancillary commercial businesses may not take up more than 25% of the primary. The process of this that we are proposing is the review of the secondary business will be reduced one level of intensity from what it would otherwise be reviewed. In other words, a business requiring a conditional use but may be reduced down to administrative use permit. This is our operating framework. This is probably easier graphically to understand than to write it up. What I'm showing here is an example of a grocery store, name a grocery store, Stater Brothers, Vons, whatever. What you're seeing in a lot of these grocery stores now are ancillary businesses within them. You may have a bank, you may have a pharmacy that are not owned and operated by the grocery store. They're a separate business within that business. Those are ancillary businesses that we're calling in our ordinance. An ancillary use that we're showing down here would be the lunch counter, owned and operated by the Stater Brothers or whomever. And in the bottom right here is we're showing a separate tenant space with a separate entrance and exit. This would be reviewed and permitted separately because what this means is that they probably have separate utilities, separate parking, separate ADA accessibility. There's other things to consider than someone who is entirely located within some other business. Live entertainment, the last part of these ancillary subjects. We have discussed this before the Planning Commission a couple of times already. I could reread these definitions, but in brief, live entertainment means something that is being performed live with or without compensation, and at venues that are privately owned but open to the public on a normal basis. Ancillary live entertainment is where entertainment is not the primary use. It's a restaurant, it's a bar, it's retail, it's a hotel, something else. Live entertainment value is an establishment where live entertainment is the primary use. Those are theaters, concert halls, etc. A special event is a one-time or seasonal activity which is covered under a separate ordinance. Ancillary live entertainment process and procedure. This would be open to any commercial industrial zone, MP for public. What we're proposing here is a license process, not a land use permit. And this would be renewable once a year, provided there are no significant code enforcement or law enforcement issues pertaining to live entertainment at a particular venue. Procedurally, we would add this to an existing business license, and we would renew the business license and the entertainment license at the same time. And these applications for ancillary live entertainment would be reviewed by building and safety, law enforcement, and fire department for safety reasons. We are proposing to exempt fraternal organizations such as Elks, American Legions, Freemasons, because in our development code, those are listed as having entertainment already. There are certain businesses that have already been approved for some type of entertainment or event space that we're not going to make them go through another licensing procedure because they already have it. Nonprofit educational institutions such as schools, libraries, and museums are exempt, and so are houses of worship, because they have music and skits and all sorts of things that are part of their worship service. These are the standards for live entertainment. The maximum occupancy of the establishment, wherever it is, may not be exceeded. Parking may not be exceeded, and the city's noise and lighting regulations may not be violated. And no activities that would fall under adult-oriented business. That is a whole section in the development code that is very detailed, which I'm not going to go into unless the commission really wants me to. And no increases for calls for law enforcement or emergency services, fire, etc. And we will not be limiting the amount of entertainment or the type of entertainment, provided that these provisions are met. So as long as the noise and lighting and all of that is provided, the type of entertainment is irrelevant. They just have an entertainment license, whether it's a comedian, a band, open mic night, whatever, karaoke, whatever it happens to be. We will be establishing fees and citations for it, which are beyond the scope of what the Planning Commission's authority is. But in general, what we're proposing is that since it's a license, not a land use approval, there will be substantially less than the typical land use applications. But we're, because of safety reasons, we really want to have the site. We want to make sure that these entertainment venues are operated safely. So if there are citations, we're going to have some discussions with those people who willingly flout the regulations. Our recommendation, this is Development Code Amendment 25-03. We find that this is exempt from CEQA, adopt the resolution, and forward a recommendation to the City Council for approval. And that is my presentation.
All right, thank you. It was a lot of workshops that led to this. I know it's been a lot of work.
So we've we've studied ancillary uses in commercial on March the 4th. At the Planning Commission, we've had workshops on September the 17th and November the 19th, and we've had 2 business community meetings on February the 26th and March the 3rd. So yes, we've studied this a lot.
Not on. Hello.
I don't have any, thank you.
Nothing? Jim?
No, I would only add that I know we've beaten this one pretty hard, and I like the simplicity of it, because I think it's clear, and appreciate the work that you guys have done. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to open public comments. Carlos Blandon, thank you.
Hi, Carlos Blandon, resident. Don't have much time to write, but here we go. Ancillary use, I'm in favor. As mentioned kind of previously, the city is an organic creature that breathes life on its own way. So it changes, it shifts, and brings opportunity. It's not a stale, stagnant object that most people think a city should be. You know, as a community director mentioned, people are more creative than the rules allow them. So let's help these folks try to make our city more progressive and bring more life. The only thing I was questioning here is, I know this relates to business, and this is kind of separate now. Permits are a license for, I know we bring a lot of people, and people have these cultural events in their lives, and they want to have music events at their homes. Is there a permit process for just for a special life event for music events at their homes? You know, it's not every day. It will just be like a random event. That's just a random question, just food for thought. Thank you.
Sarah Lyons.
Hi, everyone.
everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Sarah Lyons. I'm speaking mostly on behalf of the Board of Directors of Rediscover 29, which is our local business association. I'm also the vice chair of the Public Arts Advisory Committee, so I understand that we have been kicking this can down the road for a minute now, and I do really appreciate also, like you said, Jessica, the amount of work that Keith has been putting in to try and getting this all squared away. I just wanted to get my thoughts on the record regarding the live entertainment portion of the permits. I'm a business owner. My shop, Scorpion Lollipop, is located at corner 62, which, as probably a lot of you know, we have a lot riding on these permits because we have a pretty packed calendar full of events that we throw there as a collective of 4, actually 5 now, different businesses. So speaking both as a board member for Rediscover and also as a business owner at Corner, we absolutely understand the need for the clearer permitting. We're all in full support of making sure that everyone is in compliance, and I feel like what Keith has been proposing is really fair. I just wanted to speak on my concerns about the costs. I understand this may be more of a city council issue, but I wanted to put it on the record so that it's in everyone's mind. I'm worried that the cost for the permits is going to be a potential barrier of entry for small businesses, and I want to recommend that the fee schedule is as low as possible. I would say a maximum of $250 for the initial fee with a maximum of $100 for renewals, but honestly, I think the lower the better. And also, my understanding is that these first fees would go into effect in July, so I would also like to suggest that there is a grace period for businesses because that will be right in the middle of our slow season when every dollar counts. Most people are barely making rent as small businesses in July, so if there's any kind of grace period for that, that would be excellent in helping keeping our businesses alive in the summer. And also, finally, I just wanted to get on everyone's minds that I and other business owners would be interested to know how the city plans to use the money that they will be accruing through these fees. For example, like I said, we're at corner 62. If the initial permit is $250, that's $1,000 just from our building to the city. I haven't heard any discussion about how that money is going to be used. As a member of Rediscover and as a PAC member, I certainly have some ideas about where it could go. So I just wanted to get that into the minds of the Planning Commission. Where is that money going to go, and how is it going to help our community continue to thrive? Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any other public comments for this item? I'm going to close public comment.
So I have a couple of things really quick. These are more administrative than anything else. Through a little bit of a printing error, some of the numbering got kind of kerfluffled in the copy that was distributed, and we'll fix the paragraph numbers and the page numbers and that kind of thing. And we're going to change where it says possible permits to just simply review. So we'll make those changes as part of that. And also, it looks like we'll put the resolution on next planning commission because we didn't get it printed in time for this one. So we'll put the resolution on.
So we're not voting today? Is that
You can vote today. We just need to put the resolution on the next.
I see. Okay. Does anyone on the commission have any other comments after this public comment?
Mr. Keith, you said that basically in 19-101-030, you're going to change possible to review. Perfect, thank you. That was one of the things that I was like,
Yeah.
but I wanted to hear the presentation before I
Yeah.
asked the question.
Yeah, those are pretty minor in nature, and we can go ahead and get those.
Okay,
administrative things.
and then a resolution number for next.
And we'll get that. We'll get that on the consent calendar for next time.
Okay, perfect.
Max?
I didn't have any comments. I'd been to a couple of the business meetings, so I'm pretty good with this one.
Alex?
The money going into these things, that just goes towards the staff that has to file everything and
And
go through all the
administer it.
paperwork.
Yeah,
So
'cause
the city doesn't make any really money from this, correct?
Right, it's supposed to be a cost neutral sort of thing, and especially if we're going to do an inspection or two a year, that's all administrative costs.
That's all I need to know.
Jim?
No, I have nothing further. Thank you.
Okay. I would just like to note that I do agree with the fees being as low as possible for entry. And if there's no issue for the whole year, that it should be easy to renew. And I do agree with the July being a difficult time for small businesses, and I like all of those comments. Okay.
Yeah, and it's, well, the intention here is to make it as easy of an entry as possible with as easy as a process as possible.
Definitely. Okay. All right, so so we're gonna vote on this one then, right? Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and vote on it, you just can't adopt the resolution. And we
Okay.
can- So we'll forward it on
So
to the council after you do the resolution.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
I motion that we recommend this to the city council and that it's exempt from CEQA, adopt with the changes, and bring forth the resolution.
I'll second.
And there's I'm just say voting or roll call? Roll call, thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Pahana,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Aye.
Chair Cure,
Aye.
approved.
Okay, discussion and potential action items.
Okay, so we're gonna take, what we're looking at is, we're trying to update our development code in general. And so we've got 3 subjects, 2 of which are relatively short. I'll just take them one at a time. Oh, I did skip them. I don't have any updates. Okay, that's fine. So outdoor dining, we're looking at a minor change to the development code, potentially establishing a 10-foot setback for outdoor dining areas when adjacent to residentially zoned property. That's not clear in the code. So we're looking at bringing that forward as a clarification when we bring this forward.
Okay, so we moved on to the study session?
Yeah, this is a
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I got ahead of myself. And then outdoor storage, we would be removing